Once upon a very broke morning, in a small house with a leaking roof and 5 hungry children, a man was trying to fix the generator with a spoon and a fork. Why? Because the real tools were missing. Just like money in his bank account. This man had big dreams. He wanted to start a business, write a book, maybe even buy a car that doesn't need two people to push before it starts. But for now, he was a full-time hustler, with part-time success. Now his wife? She was tired. She used to be patient, she used to pray, but now her faith had reduced to 2%. Even her favorite prayer point had changed from "God bless my husband" to "God bless me with someone better." Every day she sat on the couch staring at the ceiling like she was watching Netflix. But the only thing showing was the crack on the wall, and her hope cracking with it. Then, one morning, she snapped. She woke up early, ironed her finest dress, sprayed the last drop of perfume like it was holy water, and began packing her things into a big Ghana must-go bag. The man was brushing his teeth with chewing stick when he saw her zipping the bag. "Where are you going?" he asked. She didn't even blink. "I'm leaving. I didn't sign up for this life of suffering. I'm still young. I can't kill myself in this poverty." The man dropped the stick. "Please, don't do this. This is just a phase. Things will turn around. I know it looks hard now, but I have plans. I'm building something. Just give me time." She scoffed. "You've been saying that since the second child. We are now on number 5. As they argued, the kids heard everything. They ran out. The youngest was already crying. "Mummy, please don't go. I'll eat only once a day, I promise." Another child held her wrapper tightly. "Mummy, what about school? Who will comb my hair?" The firstborn, smart and fast, ran straight to the bag, lifted it with all his strength and hid it under the bed. But this woman was determined. She found the bag. She dragged it out like she was pulling her past out of the house. The kids were wailing. One held onto her leg, another held the door, but she peeled them off one by one like a mother peeling yam. The man stood by the door, his voice shaking. "Please, for the kids, for the love we once had." She paused. For a split second it looked like she might change her mind. Then she looked around, at the broken fan, the hungry kids, the man wearing one shirt like it was his skin, and she shook her head. "I'm sorry. I have to find my life before life finishes me here." She pushed him out of the way, stepped out, and walked away, heels clicking on the floor like it was saying, "I'm done. I'm done. I'm done." The man didn't run after her. He just stood there, as if his heart was buffering, and from that day, he became Mr. Mom, Mr. Dad, Mr. Everything. But that, my friend, is where the real story begins. After she left, peace did not come. In fact, the house became something else. The man had to become a father, mother, cook, cleaner, school driver, nurse, pastor, and sometimes, pillow to cry on. Let's be honest. The first few days were hot mess express. He tried to cook rice, ended up with something that looked like wet popcorn. He tried to plait his daughter's hair for school. They came back crying. One teacher asked, "Are you sure your daddy is okay?" He even tried to sew a button on his son's school shirt. The poor boy came back with the button on his hand. But he didn't give up. No, this man was on a mission. He started waking up early, made simple meals, learned how to plait hair from YouTube, became friends with tailors. He even downloaded a budgeting app. Not that there was anything to budget, but still. And guess what? Little by little, life started changing. One day he decided to try a small food business. He borrowed money from a friend and bought one bag of rice, a bottle of oil, and firewood. He cooked the rice himself, sweating like a goat in dry season. He packed it neatly in containers, took it to the mechanic village and shouted, "Hot jollof rice! Only 500 naira! No jollof, no life!" The first mechanic bought. Then the second. Then a hungry man in suit. Then a bus conductor. Before he knew it, the food finished. The next day he made more. Sold out again. Word started spreading. People started calling him Jollof Daddy. Soon, he hired one neighbor to help with packing, another to help with delivery, and his first daughter became his cashier and manager in training. The house that once echoed with hunger now smelled of onions, pepper, and success. Even the youngest child told his classmate, "My daddy is a chef now. My mummy ran away because she didn't like delicious food." Things were getting better, but the man never forgot the day she left. Every night, after washing plates and helping with homework, he would sit by the window and look outside. He really missed her, but just maybe the hardship was too much for her to bear, and somewhere, far away, the woman was watching too. One of her friends had said, "You remember your husband? That one that couldn't fry egg? He now owns a small restaurant. Even his children are glowing like they bathe with milk." That was the moment her mouth opened like gate of heaven. Which husband? Which children? One sunny afternoon, something happened that shook the whole neighborhood. A customer, a social media influencer with over 200,000 followers, came to buy jollof rice. She tasted one spoon and screamed, "What? Who cooked this heavenly jollof?" The man, wiping sweat from his forehead, said, "Madam, na me." She laughed and shouted, "This is not just jollof, this is jollof with destiny inside." She brought out her phone and did a short video. "Guys, I just discovered the best jollof rice in this city. Look at the man behind it. Single father, 5 kids, cooking with love and vibes. Support him." She posted it. And boom! The internet exploded like boiling water on hot oil. Orders started flying in like mosquitoes in rainy season. Someone ordered 20 packs for their office. Another person paid for 50 packs for a wedding. Even a popular comedian shared the video and said, "This man's jollof will heal your broken heart." In less than 2 weeks, he was fully booked. He had to buy 2 extra pots, hire more helpers, and even started packaging his food in fancy takeaway plates with a sticker that read, "Jollof Daddy, taste the love." He moved from cooking with firewood outside his house to renting a proper kitchen space. He even bought his first second-hand car. It wasn't new, but it had AC and windows that actually rolled down. His children were proud. His firstborn would walk around with pride, telling people, "That's my dad." He's now a CEO. The man who once begged people for help was now being interviewed on radio and local TV. One presenter asked, "What kept you going?" He smiled and said, "My kids and jollof rice." But while all this was happening, someone else was watching. Guess who? Yes, her, his ex-wife. She saw the video online, saw the smiling kids, saw the man laughing with a chef hat, saw people calling him Father of the Year. She blinked, closed the app, opened it again. Maybe her eyes were lying. She called her friend. "Is this not my husband?" "My husband?" Her friend replied, "Ex-husband. And yes, that's him. Jollof Daddy. You left him too early, sis." And that was the beginning of a plan. 10 years later, everything had changed. The man was no longer that struggling father. He was now the proud owner of 3 restaurants with big banners that read, "Jollof Daddy, from grass to sauce." People lined up to buy his food. His face was on flyers, on radio jingles, even on the back of buses. They called him Jollof Baba, the chefpreneur and the father of 5 stars. And the children? Oh, they were shining like new coins. The firstborn, now 27, had graduated with first class in business administration and had started her own small catering outfit. She called it Jollof Princess. The second child was now a fashion designer. Not the kind that sews one trouser in 2 weeks. No. This one had customers from Lagos, London, and even Lekki. The third and fourth were still in the university, studying engineering and medicine. And guess what? They were both on scholarship. And the lastborn? Well, he was in SS2, taller than everybody in the house, and already talking about becoming a lawyer. Or a DJ. He hadn't decided yet. Life was sweet. There was peace, laughter, vibes, no shouting, no slamming of doors, just the smell of food and the sound of dreams coming true. Then one day, Madame Regret returned. She came quietly. Like Wi-Fi. No noise, just presence. She first visited her lastborn at school. She brought him snacks, drinks, meat pie, and one expensive wristwatch. The boy was confused. "Mommy?" "Yes, baby. I just wanted to see you. I missed you." He blinked. The snacks were tempting, but the memories? Still fresh. Later, he told his father. The man just sighed. So she's back. The next day, she walked into the restaurant, dressed like a senator's wife. Hair fixed, eyelashes long like wiper blade, and perfume smelling like overdue apology. She greeted customers, smiled at workers, and walked straight to the kitchen. "Let me help you stir the stew," she said, picking up the spoon. The man didn't even turn his head. "Madam, that's not stew. That's hot oil. If you want to help, sit down and don't burn the building." Customers looked at her. Staff were giggling. She tried to act normal, laughing like they were all joking. Later, she tried washing plates. The youngest staff whispered, "Auntie, we have dishwasher. This one no be 2009 again." She came again the next day. And the next. Always offering to help, always smiling awkwardly, always looking around to see if he'd notice her. But the man never looked her way. He was busy handling orders, giving customers change, and discussing supply deals with big companies. And when she saw her children again, two of them just walked past her like she was wallpaper. The pain started pinching her like mosquito bite in church. One evening, she sat outside the restaurant, waiting. When the man finally came out to go home, she dropped to her knees. "Please, forgive me. I didn't know you would turn out this way. I was foolish. I was scared. I was selfish, but I've changed. Please, I want to come back home." She was crying. People gathered. Workers stood still. Even the neighbors that came to buy takeaway paused. The man stood there, holding his car keys, looking at her. No smile, no anger, just silence. He simply opened his car door, stepped in, and drove off, leaving her standing there like an abandoned handbag. But she didn't give up. The following week, during the holiday when everyone was at home, she came again. This time, she went straight to the house. She stood at the gate, crying, begging, and calling out to them. But the gateman had his orders. Don't let her in, no matter what. And he followed it like it was his life's assignment. Still, she stood there, from morning till evening, refusing to leave. Sun beat her. Dust danced around her, but she stayed. By evening, the children couldn't take it anymore. One after the other, they started pleading with their father. "Daddy, please, just hear her out. Let her talk. She's been standing there all day." After a long silence, he sighed, looked at the gate, then said quietly, "Tell the gateman to let her in." The night was quiet. Too quiet. Inside the living room, even the clock on the wall ticked like it was afraid to make noise. Everyone was seated. The father sat on his usual single couch, arms folded, eyes fixed on nothing in particular. The mother, now known unofficially as Madame Regret, stood near the center, eyes red, nose running, hand holding tissue like it was her last hope in life. The 5 children sat like panelists in a serious family reality show. Nobody said a word. Then, slowly, the mother fell to her knees. "I know. I don't even deserve to stand before you all," she began, voice shaking like generator in rainy season. "I failed. I failed as a mother. I failed as a wife. I failed as a human being." She paused, wiped her eyes, and continued. "I was supposed to stay. I was supposed to hold this family together. But I ran away. I left when things were hard. I left my children. I left the man who stood by me when I had nothing." She looked at each of them, one by one. "I have watched from a distance all these years. I've seen how God raised you all. I've seen how you struggled and still became something. I didn't come back for money. I came back for mercy. If there's just a little space left in your hearts, even if it's just the corner where old memories hide, please let me in." The room was quiet, very quiet. The second child coughed awkwardly. The firstborn took a deep breath, eyes watery. The lastborn was focused on his big bowl of chin-chin like his life depended on it. Then he looked up and asked with a mouthful, "Mummy, do you still flog children?" Everyone, "Huh?" He blinked innocently. "I'm just asking, because I'm not used to Cain again. Oh, we use reasoning in this house now." For the first time that evening, everyone laughed. Even the father's mouth shook a little like he was holding in a smile. But soon, the laughter faded. The room became serious again. The firstborn spoke, her voice calm but heavy. "Mummy, I raised them. I dropped out of school for 2 years just to help Daddy. I cried every birthday. I cried when I graduated. I cried when I got my first job. Because you weren't there. You left us, and we needed you." The second child nodded. "We begged you that day. We cried. I even hid your bag. But you still left." The third child stood and paced like a lawyer in court. I don't even know if I have a mother. I'm not angry. I'm just empty. The fourth child said, I used to dream about you. In my dreams, you always came back with cake and presents, but this isn't a dream, and there's no cake. Then they all turned to the last born again. He blinked. Okay, but let's be honest. Can Mom still cook her special Sunday rice? Because me, I'm not ready to miss that part. More soft laughter. Then silence again. All eyes turned to their father. He sighed deeply. This isn't just my decision. She didn't leave only me. She left us. He looked at the woman on the floor, then at the children, then back at the floor again like it still owed him money. The tension was back. Now we ask you, our viewer, if you were in this man's shoes, what would you do? Would you forgive her and let her come back in? Or would you move on and start a new life with someone else? Drop your answer in the comments. We want to hear from you. Your opinion matters a lot here. Thank you so much for watching and staying till the end of the story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and of course, subscribe for more sweet, funny, and touching stories like this. I truly appreciate you. Until next time, stay happy, stay blessed, and keep smiling. Bye for now.